All right, so thank you all. Chief Chalmers on Zoom. Um, Call our meeting to order, LEPC, Local Emergency Planning Committee, February 1st, 2023. A little bit late, so I apologize, 10:14. Typically, we would do a roll call or an attendance, but as we'll discuss in a few minutes, nobody has officially been appointed to the LEPC committee. So this meeting is really kind of like an organizational meeting. And there will be appointments coming from the town manager's office in the near future. Um, so there are no prior meeting minutes. I know we've had these meetings. They've been held more as like a workshop. They've never been held in a public meeting forum before. So going forward, we will obviously have meetings. They will minutes. I know I just couldn't find any, so there's none to approve tonight or this afternoon, morning, wherever we are. There's no communications. There's no subcommittees. This is a public meeting, so members of the public are welcome to come and speak. This will be available on Zoom going here on out as well. So same format as all of our public meetings. They'll be two phased, both in person and over Zoom. So public can attend in the future if they wanted to. We don't have any unfinished business. So I'm going to just get into what I have listed as new business. And I apologize. You'll all get an agenda going forward as well. So I did pass out Chief Traumer. I'll get it to you. I was able to find what I would equate to bylaws for this group. So they do, I believe, need to be tweaked and updated a little bit, which we'll do. But everybody will get a copy of these. It kind of just lays out how the meeting will run. It talks about, officers. There's a chairperson, there's a co-chairperson, and then there's a coordinator. In the past, the town manager, and again, the town manager acted as the chairperson of this committee. And I think that our acting town manager wants to keep that the same in my brief discussion with him. So the town manager will be the chairperson. Going forward, we may appoint or a co-chair in the event that he cannot be there. The coordinator position laid out in section 4 here is really where I think I fit into this. And it's the liaison between the LEPC and the Emergency Operations Center. So if there's an interest of anybody being a co-chair of this committee, let me know, and we will let the town manager's office know. And we'll make the official appointments and all that, and then at the next meeting, we would obviously appoint anybody that wants to hold that role. So the next item on my agenda, and I only have 4 items, but there's discussion regarding official appointments to the LEPC. So section 5, it just says that, I'm sorry, the members, under membership, Article 4 membership, section 1. The members of the LEPC shall consist of elected officials, police, fire, EMS, civil preparedness, public health, environmental, hospitals, and town agencies having a direct bearing in a hazardous materials emergency, Salvation Army, Red Cross, and transportation officials, as well as representatives of facilities located in Newington that will be subject to the emergency planning requirements. So it's kind of vague as to who should be here. I've invited, obviously, our public safety chiefs. I've invited our Parks and Rec and Parks and Ground, our highway department, representatives from the school, representatives from human services, CERT. The CERT team will have a representative. For those that don't know, Lauren Rhines is our new risk manager. And just so everybody knows what that is, that's the new Jeff Barron. So
very similar.
Yeah,
we look exactly the same.
I'll open it up for just a quick discussion if anybody else thinks they need to be here. I did also, sorry, I invited the health department. They're tied up with mandatory training today, so they will have a representative at our meetings in the future. Anybody else that I left off or think needs to be here? I tried to keep it to, emergencies where, people would be operating in an emergency. Certainly this is not everybody that would be part of an EOC. It's just more for planning purposes. This group was developed to really work through hazardous materials reporting and planning should there be an issue in town. And I think that it needs to be expanded. So that's what we're going to do. To say that this is an avenue where we can talk about any sort of public emergency, big incidents, natural disasters, things like that, we want to be ready to respond and ensure that, what I would call business continuity. We would be able to make sure that our residents are taken care of. They have shelters available. We have, places for them to go and, things that they would need to, kind of carry on their regular lives, as far as like toiletries, showering, all that stuff. So I'm going to try to make this more of an all hazards approach to, planning and making sure that we can respond to any sort of incident that arises. Any questions on that's the organizational layout that I'm looking for. Anything so far? Any questions? Chief, you got anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. The next part is, so what I have listed as C, discussion of the emergency operations plan. So from the best that I can find, the town EOP, the global EOP, hasn't been updated for a while. The most recent I could find was 2012. Just today, I got an email from our state Region 3 coordinator that said they want all EOPs updated by January 1st, 2020, January 31st, 2024. So this meeting actually coincides, perfectly that we're going to basically go through this and make it up to date and an actual working document. Obviously, everybody kind of has a piece in this EOP. So going forward, we will bring in who we need to bring in. As far as like our facilities group has a piece of this. There's some town agencies that wouldn't necessarily be part of this group, but they will have some sort of functionality. Example would be our building department, the senior center, senior and disabled center. They're part of our EOP, but they'll be brought in as needed. So this is the core group of what I would consider leadership that is going to be involved in any sort of an emergency. So that's why you're all part of this committee. This is a big project, so we're going to break it up to get the first couple of chapters done first, updated to the new state template that they want, and then we'll disperse, so all of you guys can work. I mean, I know the schools have their stuff, but all you guys can work through your specific parts of the plan. So there's, I'm not looking at the brand, the new one, but this is broken down by annexes. So, sorry. The main plan is there's 12 different sections, and then there's a bunch of attachments and annexes. So it talks specifically about, all departments. When it talks about mission assignments. So what emergency management is responsible for, the police chief, the fire chief, highways, park and rec, building official, health department, schools, Human Services, Town Clerk is involved in this. So as we need to, we'll engage those departments and have this updated. So if there's anybody from your departments, specifically that you think might benefit from being here, let me know and we can include them. They will be, considered like a public member. They won't have any sort of voting privileges, but their input is certainly welcome. So, and then just the last item for discussion that I have is an update on our new EOC, our grant. We have received a grant. The town has received a grant for a new EOC. We have submit paperwork to the state to get that money. But we're in the point at this particular point where we don't have a site that has been identified to put the EOC. We have to build a new EOC according to the terms of the grant. It has to be on town property. We have submit the grant to a property that was deemed by the previous town manager as suitable, but we don't own it. So they're working through, the purchase of that property, if you will. I know that there's been a few more that have come up in probably the last, 2 weeks, potentially suitable locations. So we can always modify our grant, but we are going to engage at this point. The only update I have is we're going to engage our on-call architects through our facilities group to start designing an EOC. We just have to figure out where that's going to be. So I wish I had more to share with you, but that's kind of where we're at. So any questions for me? Any thoughts, suggestions, anything we need to do, add to an agenda?
Is your plan for the modification of the plan to be at these meetings or more regular meetings, like sub-meetings of this?
So these, it could be two ways. These meetings are quarterly meetings.
Right.
We could definitely create a subcommittee specifically for the EOC review, and they can meet as needed. Obviously, I'll be part of that, and if we we'll have to see what the best option is.
Yeah,
I think it'll be
just don't see it
required.
happening in 3
Yeah,
meetings,
quarterly
right?
meetings will be difficult, so it may just be a workshops that, and then, those groups present back at the quarterly meetings as far as statuses and whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The work of this particular document doesn't necessarily have to be under a public meeting. It just has to be, presented and accepted by this group, and then we'll present it to town council for their acceptance once it's finished. Do you know, and I don't know if it might be a Dr. Brummett question, but does the Board of Ed have to approve anything that you guys do before it goes to the town council?
So when in terms of emergency plans,
Yeah, like
So,
accepting a plan
the
or,
way that it works is the chairman of the board is one of the signatures that's required
okay,
to be on it before we send it to Bill Turley at Region 3.
okay. So that'll just be, it's just I just want to make sure we follow all the right steps. So. Yes, Bill.
A couple things. One, if you're looking at purchasing buildings for a new EOC, if I could strongly encourage handicap accessibility. Oftentimes when you take an old building or take it over by the city or towns, they need renovation. So I bring that to your attention.
Well, and as ADA, that would be a mandate.
So we're actually, by the terms of the grant, we can purchase a property with a building on it, but the EOC actually has to be a newly built, so it will be constructed to ADA requirements.
Great. And second of all, in the future, if you wouldn't mind just sending me electronically the agendas
Yep.
or whatever.
Absolutely. So that's where we're at. The only other thing I'll say is I know that meetings are tough. If you want to send somebody in your place, if you can't make it, that's fine. Just let me know, in writing to say this is the person that's representing whatever department. they will have full, privileges, voting privileges, as the representative. So as far as appointments go, like I said, I'll just use the fire department because Chief Trommer's here. Chief Trommer will be appointed to this committee, but if he wants to send a different chief or a different officer, whomever, in his place, that's fine. And the same goes for all of you guys. I don't know who you would send in your place, but
Jeff.
same thing like
I'm not in my retirement.
I hold dual roles. So John will probably be here. And for those of you that haven't met John, he's our new assistant fire marshal. So he'll be here representing the fire marshal's office, and I'll be here representing emergency management. So
What's John's last name?
John's last name is Hoffman. Anything else? Anything you need to discuss, or I look forward to working with all of you. It'll be a challenge, but I think we'll try to streamline it the best we can and, get everything to where it needs to be is the goal.
Sounds good.
Good. All right. Chief, anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate it.
All righty. So our next meeting is scheduled for officially, I think I said April. Is it the April or May? February. It would be the first Wednesday of May. I have it on my calendar. If there's a need, if something comes up, we can always hold a special meeting. We can convene at any time. We just need 24 or 48 hours notice. So there may be, especially with the EOC, I may call a special meeting. I'll try to give everybody more than obviously 2 days notice. But to formally start working on that, and we'll try to make it as easy to schedule for everybody as possible. All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Have a good day, everyone.
Lauren, do you want to say 11 o'clock instead?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Does that work well?
that works great for me.
Perfect.
See you then.
See you soon.
I told you DJ would be a different.